but the Hecarim, the Rise, LGD get the Zeri, the Gwen, and the Graves ban.
Yeah, so we saw Jinzhao finding some nice hooks in mid-game, so I think it's understandable to take that one away. In regards to SOFM in his early game, I don't feel like SOFM has to change anything. All your lanes were doing completely fine. I mean, Angel was up like 40 CS. Your bot lane was just outright winning in terms of the 2v2. Heck, we saw them get a 2v2 kill when Jinzhao overextended and the Shy was fine. So for Weibo, if there's anything you say to them, coming from Coach yourself, it's like, hey, early game, completely rock solid. Don't change anything up. Tahm Kench, though, coming out for Jinzhao in the bottom lane. So it seems like them recognizing, hey, Eric was the big stud last game. Let's give him some peel. Let's give him some protection. Obviously, you do still have the tools to go aggressive and be a bit of follow-up if you do have another primary engage right alongside you. And now the Lee Sin being hovered. Don't do that to us, SOFM. Your Lee Sin is clean.
It is really clean. Also very comfort for him. But I do want to point out that the Tahm Kench making it through for the first time in the series is huge, right? It was a priority ban for Weibo in both previous games. I'm very much looking forward to that Tahm Kench, and especially Jinzhao. The Lee Sin does finally get locked in, though, for Weibo.
It is interesting how the Tahm Kench didn't swayed either of their second or third picks, right? Because Tahm Kench's biggest strength is against single target burst or single target CC, which is exactly what Thresh and Lee Sin are. Obviously, right, as Lee Sin, there is still some outplay potential to Tahm Kench of him eating his ally and you just getting behind and still being able to find the kick. So that one will work out, and we're going to see the Ahri locked in once again for the side of LGD. Let's remember, despite the fact that Jay, it feels like overall had a very unimpactful game and did start to fall behind early, still was able to find that solo kill early on. I think Jay has looked much more proficient on assassins and champions that are able to utilize agency in some way as compared to enchanters, where it feels like, hasn't been as much of a standout.
Yeah, and it's the quickness of the decisions that you get with Ahri, right? The charm catch-outs and how quickly you can gap close as well. But we did get our second phase bans. A lot of normalcy there. The Gnar by LGD banned away, Vex as well. Malphite, the ban by Weibo, as well as the Camille.
Yeah, and right now LGD gonna have to go towards the jungler themselves. Sinzao still left open, but it looks like Foreshadow might instead just prefer to go towards the Viego and again play for those skirmishes. Post 6, find those resets, be able to put some pressure onto Huanfeng on the back line. And now for Weibo, no Gnar this time around, so not gonna be able to answer with that one. Graves also gone. Pretty much all the safe blind pick tops are off the table. I wonder if he'll pivot back towards the Scion, but no. Instead, wanting to keep up with the aggression, going towards the Jace. Jace, I think, incredibly good against both Tahm Kench and Aphelios, just being able to outrange him with that accelerated shock blast.
And that is huge as well. The TF finally coming there. So a couple power picks making their way through in the third game as Weibo round out their composition with the Jace and the TF. A lot of lockdown potential and catch-out potential there on Weibo Gaming side. It was the answers of Viego from LGD. So Shadow not going with the Zinzao this time around, trying to pull off a little bit of what SOFM was able to do in game number 1 on the Viego. And then we get Fearless's Tryndamere again.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be extremely interesting just for the fact that, I mean, both teams know the plan, right? For Weibo, I think you're very clearly looking to put some emphasis on top side with the Destiny Gate available. For LGD, looking to pick the all-in matchup into the poke matchup of the Jace, looking to combo up with Shadow and Jay. So I'm going to say this again. I expect to see a lot of resources put up into the top side. I feel like typically one team has shied away from the call to fight up towards it, and we've seen a lot of cross-mapping come to play in this series. But this time around, again, you have a TF, you have a Jace. I feel like it's a very easy setup, especially when there's a Tryndamere on the opposite side. Level 6 could be a bit more difficult to pivot towards that lane, and you always do have Huanfeng, who is a strong carry if you decide to pivot your resources down towards that bottom side.
Yeah, and you still have the Thresh to provide a lot of that safety and all those stuff. But again, it is that top side of the match that means so much, I feel like, in this one. And the fact that Angel is on the TF, is on that mobile champion that can join in with the side lane pressures, that Weibo found themselves having a little bit of trouble with last time around, is so important, right? Yes, the Zillion was huge. In game 1, it was a major reason why they were able to find a lot of their success. Game 2, not as much, still a lot of stability there, but this is where Angel needs to get with the team and quickly once that level 6 comes across. But this is where it all comes down to. LGD have pushed one of the top teams in the LPL to 3 games, and Weibo are going to have to scratch and claw to make sure they can continue their top of the table standings here in that first spot. LGD versus Weibo Gaming. Game number 3 starts now.
And already to see a bit of an interesting start. Sword Art up towards the top side along with Shadow. Looks like neither team gonna walk too far forward aggressively. It would be kind of funny to have a 2v2 at level 1 between support and top laner and top and jungler. Sadly, Mazel, it's not our days. A ton of the Shy fans. Who would have guessed?
Rightfully
Shy
so.
Extremely popular in the LPL.
No way. Who'd have thunk it? Shadow actually on his way up to his top side finds the cheeky ward there put down by the Shy. Gives it a little thumbs up on the way out. But nicely done by Weibo Gaming to make sure they still get some ward vision at least for themselves. It's all about the early tussles for me between these two junglers, especially because last time we finally got to see Shadow take one of those aggressive pathings on the Lee Sin. This time we'll be looking at SOFM for a little bit of the same.
Again, Mazel, just my philosophy in terms of junglers, it's all dictated by what your laners can do. So hopefully this time around, LGD's laners can fare better than they have in the last 2 outings. We do see the Shy going for phase rush. I think it makes sense, right? The second Trinity he's on to, trying to get that proc to get away, not let him run you down. Then you win out the trade on Trinity's retreat, getting a lot of that poke down with your range advantage. Looks like runes elsewhere are pretty stock and standard across the board, as both junglers going to be making their way probably up to play more around their top side right now, starting with their bot side camps.
And we're obviously still putting a lot of that volatile spotlight in the top side for the Shy and Fearness, but again, like the mid lane having a little bit of a different matchup this time for Angel, the bottom lane having had such crucial successes in the later parts of the game in the series so far, it is all about that early presence for both of these junglers and where they're really pathing to. And as we see both going towards the top side of the map, does mean we get to say we're okay looking at the focus towards the solo lanes for both these teams.
Yeah, again, with these drafts, it is a little bit more expected, though in the LPL you never really
You never know, man. You never know. The fact that we have Tom Kenshin here and Jin Zhao on the champion, hey, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and LGD still able to have a mid lane matchup where they have full control over the mid lane, even before the TF nerfs and the RE changes. TF already able to find Prio in this matchup. Let's remember that 12.3 was where TF's Q was nerfed a little bit at later ranks, starting at level 2. Your E also lost some attack speed, so that hurts in terms of being able to find push, being able to try and contest Prio or contest trades. So right now, Shadow going to aggressively go towards the top side with Prio in both his top and mid. Isn't going to spot out anything, though, Mazel.
Yeah,
so he's
no,
going to back off and not look to just run it down in the enemy jungle. What world are we in?
Hey, all right. You know, sometimes you got to take the respect, okay? And SOFM is somebody you definitely should be respecting in the LPL as he shows up in mid lane. They will know where he's pathing towards his bot side, and Shadow could be looking for some wraparound gank, maybe a top side dive or something along those lines to just force Fearness into a position of power.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily would have the setup to go for anything like that right now. For LGD, looks like going to be in a point where resets are going to start coming out. Enemy bot lane's pushed in, right? So Shadow theoretically has a detour he can make there, especially with camp still not quite up yet. His wolves are up,
man.
so
Jin Zhao forced to flash away from the Flame Chomper, still taking a ton of damage from the trade of Huan Feng. Huan Feng out mana now, though, will be a little bit less of those rockets going to the back of Jin Zhao. Still no flash on the Tom Kent, can be huge, and SOFM showing his face down here will be spotted out by the ward. Shadow's down here as well.
yeah, Shadow not going to go for anything, just going to go and look to clear his camps. And in regards to Jin Zhao losing his flash, right, feels like Huan Feng and Sorter have gotten the better in terms of the laning in literally every game so far. That isn't going to stop yet. Even having a bit of a CS advantage for themselves. Eric, though, is playing true to his nature, starting with the call, trying to get that scaling going.
Pistol dive actually connects on Juan. The Dark Passage is right there to get him out of dodge. Not even have to burn any summoner spells in that engage. But Jin Zhao is prominent and looking for those engage. And I think that's something that's going to be key, obviously, as he is literally the majority of their engage. I guess 50% of it.
Yeah, pretty much all of it, actually, when you look at... I mean, LGD not having a lot of great ways to start off fights. I mean, this time around definitely is a lot more single target focus. I mean, obviously, Jin Zhao can find a multi-man knockup, but then as Tahm Kench, you're putting yourself in harm's way. If you don't have flash up, that could be quite rough when you still want to be serving your job as kind of this backline appeal for the big boss Eric role. LGD, though, finally going to be the team who are able to sort themselves out with an early dragon.
Hey, you take those dubs when you get them, all right? Early dragon focus for LGD is going to be okay, right? For, as we have said multiple times in this broadcast, though, single dragons, the early dragons, not the most important thing. I think SOFM is okay with keeping that one down, as now we do see that aggressiveness potentially coming out. Not level 6 yet, though, for either of these junglers, and that level 6 mark has been completed for the mid laners, though. Okay, getting away with a bit of that Spirit Rush utilized. Jin Zhao and Sword Art on the timer, though. Still no early blood.
Yeah, they do chunk out Jay, which means now you do have a window with your Destiny Gate, right, to make a gank available where Jay theoretically won't be able to follow. Jay even used his ultimate, so going to be less threat on Angel in this mid lane matchup. Just going to look to aggressively push this one, keep Jay here, not let him find a safe back timing. Still, though, SOFM not really in position where you can look to set up anything, maybe in the bottom side, but both Jin Zhao and Eric are quite close to tower. Jin Zhao's no flash, so, you know, a TF gank with gold card can bring him down, but right now, TF hovering up towards his top side.
He's got some pings up there, too. But this is that proactivity that I would expect to see and need to see from Angel picking up the TF, right? We're talking about losing a little bit more in the laning phase, needing to have the utility and bringing that to fruition. And when you play this TF is so crucial. So those early Destinies haven't necessarily been there just yet. They haven't been able to pull the full trigger on it, but the fact that they're looking and the ideas are there for both sides, as I've kind of said, is super promising, even though we're seemingly getting a similar game to the first one where no blood for 20 minutes. I don't know, that makes me kind of a sad boy, Lyric.
Whoa, Mazel, don't worry. We're just waiting now for the second to this wave to be pushed out by Angel, and then for him to look at his sides, be like, hey, there's actually nothing I could do. There's no wave top. Again, Eric and Jin Zhao playing incredibly safe by their tower and bot side, and we're just gonna stay exactly where we've been.
I thought you were gonna bring me somewhere promising, or like you were gonna lead me to some positivity that I could look forward to some bloodshed on Summoner's Rift in the LPL, but apparently not.
Mazel, what's wrong with living in the moment?
You know, sometimes
appreciating the nice brushes of Summoner's Rift with the red banners.
But it's 8 minutes, Lyric.
The LPL.
It's Rift Herald time. There's a timer. There's like an alarm. It's a bell ringing in all the heads of the LPL players on Summoner's Rift at 8 minutes, no matter what.
No, you're actually wrong, because you look at the minimap and Huanfeng is going back to bot lane.
This isn't the LPL anymore. I don't know how to take this, but it is the LPL, and we do get the Shy still trying to put down Fearness and finding advantage in the top side as well.
Is a little bit low on mana. I'm not sure if it looks like there's a potential Honey Fruit River. Yep, now we do see SOFM walking out, so can look to get that back.
The flash doesn't connect it, and now Shadow's just dead. That's the early game damage, and when you miss the combo, that's what happens.
Yeah, SOFM will find it. SOFM will look to keep chasing Fearness down. Fearness has ult.
He's going down towards bottom side, though, for the potential dive. Sword Art has found themselves on the wrong side of dodge, takes a Moonlight Vigil to the face, and dies. Response from LGD.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure we're going to get a replay of that one, but from the angle Sword Art was at, right, it looks like they were maybe positioning to dive and waiting for Angel to be able to move and come in, but maybe pulling the trigger a little bit too soon. Didn't go for it. Angel did just use his Destiny Gate back towards mid. At least Weibo, though, winning out incredibly hard in this top side.
They are, and what we wanted to see from them was focus on the Shy, especially if he's on the Jace pick. That's rightfully so, that he should get some of the resources at least. We have not gotten that early objective in the Rift Herald taken. It was threatened to be taken already for both junglers, but it will just be the reset into farming for SOFM. But that means that Shadow can take advantage of the tempo, the priority that he's gotten in mid lane from Jay's Ari, and look for the neutral objective himself, as SOFM looked for mid lane.
I feel like the biggest thing here is that Angel, 1, has no mana, and 2, has no way of getting back to the lane, right? No Destiny up, no teleport up, so no matter what, even if the lane was in a neutral state, he'd be able to guarantee it, but SOFM still wanting to look for this.
This will dive there to get Jinzhao into the fight. SOFM just making them worry a little bit more. It is a 1, or I guess a 2v3 at this point, as the Mega Death Rocket a little bit late there just to try and help out a little bit. SOFM still on to Jinzhao. Has the Dragon Rage kick as well, and the rest of Weibo could be looking to join.
The big jukes.
That was huge.
That was one of the biggest outplays we've seen in LPL history.
In LPL history?
LPL history is, Charm doesn't land. That was not an outplay, as, Mazel, it feels like for the side of Weibo right now, I mean, Huanfeng is still up. Huanfeng is still going to scale up to be a monster and is definitely a win condition. But right now, all the dominance coming out on your top side. The Shy, 1,000 gold up over Fearness right now.
Not too bad, and that means that the focus for Weibo can kind of transition to the 4v4 on the other side of the map and kind of leaving the Shy up there until the striking when the iron is hot kind of comes alive for him. Rift Herald utilized by LGD on the bottom side to get Eric this gold, and that is that win condition. Eric is the late game carry. You saw by the MVP performance in game number 2. It's nice to get him a full tower almost.
Yeah, I mean, gonna get a ton of gold. Actually, they're gonna be able to secure themselves the tower, so gonna have a lane they can reliably play around. Right now, Huanfeng has Gale Force, so if Weibo can find any sort of opportunity right now, might be able to have the kill pressure, but
Undying
looks
Rage
like
is down.
Jinzhao and Eric gonna respect.
Fearness had to pop the ulti there against the Shy and back off, as now the Shy just gets free time on the turret place, while SOFM also taking the dragon right underneath Shadow's nose. So big plays from Weibo, even if it is a bit passive.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that we've seen them in every game. It really doesn't matter too much if they get the Herald or not, just outright from how much they're winning in terms of plate gold in a lot of these matchups. It feels like at best LGD is matching them, and even now, right, Weibo's still up in terms of gold, just a small amount. We do see for LGD, though, they found themselves an advantage to match the Shies. Eric, 1k gold up over Huanfeng right now. We'll pick up some plates, so we'll at least be able to get that one a bit closer.
That was so close. Well, the Shy able to get away with a little bit of confidence in his own right there as well. We'll see the reset come out for almost the whole of Weibo and get back towards this top side of the map, where now you see Shadow heading in for a bit of a lane gankerino here. Potentially looking for something a bit spicy against the Shy, who will be looking aggressive when he comes back to this lane as well.
Let's see if the Shy falls for it. Doesn't look like it.
He knows.
The Shy's not the same. I'm not going to say
Don't
anything.
say it. Don't
say
say it. Do not say it. I know exactly what you were about to say. No. He has fallen for it, though. But he does take a 1v2 pretty nicely. The Heartbreaker makes the difference, though, and Fearless picks up the kill. Now SOFM going in by himself. Mega Death Rocket from across the map. SOFM forced to flash. Undying Raise there for Fearless yet again, and the timing is just right. LGD strike again.
That obviously didn't work in terms of, like, the kill being able to come through, but nice execution by Weibo with, the Super Mega Death Rocket. I do gotta say, though, right, that was just a really cheeky gank coming from Shadow.
Yep.
Made his way through lane, was sitting in that brush for like 30 seconds. Unexpected, catches the Shy off guard, able to find the kill. And heck, in the end, right, we were talking about how Weibo were starting to cement themselves a little bit of a slow gold lead despite LGD using that Herald bot. Now LGD not only picking up some kills, looking to counter jungle, looking to spread this pressure throughout the map. They're going to transition to their 1-3-1 right now, knowing how strong Jay is in that isolated 1v1 when he is up against Angel. So overall, I think nice map adaptations coming out from LGD.
Also,
now it'd be nice to see them give a little bit of cover to Fearness.
Yeah, I was going to say, a bit of adaptation for Fearness, though. Not the Navori Quick Blaze second, not the damage build so far. It's the Hull Breaker to start off for it because of the pressure that the Shy has had onto him so far. But now the pressure is on the Shy as both of them flash.
Yeah, the Shy knows that Fearness's ultimate is not up, so wanting to aggressively trade as much as he can, potentially put him in solo kill territory. wasn't able to do so. Like you said, Hullbreaker built up, so those bonus stats are coming in handy. Weibo going to try and cement themselves some vision towards this top side. Even them just leaning allows the Shy to be able to take this turret, so they don't have to dedicate all too much as long as Fierce doesn't over-address.
Braided towers now 1-to-1 in that aspect of the game, as we see both bottom laners in the mid lane, as rightfully so should be. Still a lot of pressure up towards that top side for Weibo, as you were saying, but now LGD are right back to what was working for them in game number 2, where they take, a 1-3-1 composition, they shove it into the mid lane, and take towers, take objectives, take fights.
Okay, Mazel, assuming the Shy gets away here. Okay, you got away. We have finally gotten confirmed by production that we are able to say it. If Weibo win here, they are our first team locked in the playoffs. Math says so. Everyone knows math equals just straight up facts. You cannot argue.
I don't like
Weibo
math.
win this game, locked in playoffs.
I don't like math. I'm a play-by-play. Don't approach me. Just tell me. Don't tell me it involved math. Just tell me the results. And it means that the results are Weibo Gaming. They take this series. We'll be our first team locked into playoffs. As you said, very, very exciting for themselves. Something we were kind of hinting at a little bit the entire time, but now we actually get the full throttle to say so. And LGD want to make that not so, speaking of, as they take the mid tower, Lyric.
Yeah, LGD, nice rotation right. Brought Jay over from bottom lane, where again, it right now looks like they do have a bit of a wave slow pushing to the enemy side. Looks like Angel gonna have to go to answer that one. They pivot up towards mid, take that turret, gonna instantly transition this into a Rift Herald. Weibo still with no response. Dragon up in 27 seconds. Both teams sitting at 1 apiece right now.
And, it's been that slow, steady game we got in game number 1. Last game, we had the action. We had the blood. We had craziness. The late game team fights. I feel like we're going to get the late game aspect of last game, but then we're getting the early game of game number 1. And I always love that about the LPL. It always seems to work out that way. We see all the flashes of the previous games in the final game. It's like a beautiful script or a story written. SOFM works on the second dragon of the game for Weibo. Will be an objective going their way without LGD contesting.
Yeah, you started to see Jin Zhao and Shadow make their way down, but instead not going to opt into it. I mean, you look at Jay. Jay's on the top of the map trying to answer the Shy. Eric's still coming out of base. They don't necessarily know where Huanfeng is, so not wanting to look for that one. They might still get here in time, though.
They were trying.
Close.
Yeah, Shadow was working his way there. The Rift Herald number 2, though, available for Shadow to utilize if he wants to try and break this top side, as they are all heading this way. Shy might have some company up there.
It should be pretty easy for them, right? It's the last outer turret left open. Dedicate the man advantage there. We can see them consistently be able to get pressure in mid lane. I mean, at this point, right, I think Huanfeng being deathly afraid of Eric looking for a Gale Force into a Moonlight Vigil, being able to lock him down, just burst him out. So paying respect, clearing his waves close to turret. Rift Herald is drop top, so LGD can have both side lanes completely open.
Which, in terms of pressure and in terms of how we've seen these games play out already today, is a boon. Because you can utilize some of these quick backward decisions. It does get the better of Weibo Gaming as Shadow gets caught out of the Destiny. It's a little bit scary there. TP now utilized to bring Jay to the mid lane. No objectives to fight about. They just want to keep the pressure up as they have Fearness pushing the side lane and bot.
I also feel like we've seen LGD play side lanes in an interesting way, right? Is Jay popping the ultimate.
This is the mobility I was talking about. Misses the charm, though, and that's the crucial piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, sadly not able to guarantee that one to just secure a kill for the side of the Weibo if that one did hit. Now still looking to counter jungle and take away some of Weibo's camps. Angel not here, is on reset right now, does have Destiny.
Yeah, can join the fight. The rapid fire also completed, so those long range yellow cards are going to be there. SOFM moving in, gets the red buff as well away from Shadow. And now SOFM, he wanted to go for the kick, but he has to flash away, kicks Jin Zhao away. Calamity of errors there, at least a good target selection to pull off of that, because I think he would have put himself in a precarious position.
Yeah, but I want to go back to LGD and again how they play sides, because right, we've seen teams like Weibo this series who just play sides by hard committing the Shy to taking objectives, whether it's tier 2s or inhibitor turrets. We've seen LGD all game long be the team is willing to just set up slow pushes into enemy territory, posture on objectives, and look for these team fights. So not necessarily over-aggressing for picks. They obviously did just try and set up for picks in that last play we saw, but It's been a lot more about using their side lane pressure to give them man advantage and tempo advantage in 5v5s. The Shadow and Fearless going to try and run down Angel and the Shy.
Name of the game is speed. The Shy goes back onto Fearness as they try to get the Undying Rage. They have popped it now. Angel onto Shadow, but this is the Shy in a 1v2, and I'm sure he's going to go down. He did end up falling as now Sword Art and Angel back away from their fallen teammate.
Yeah, you know, it's quite interesting when we think he's gonna go down, but right at that instant that the game freezes for us, and we're like,
I tried.
Did he go down?
Well, the world may never know.
It does make the games more exciting because I feel like this happens to us pretty much only when a kill's about to go down. So,
you know, as a play-by-play, I'm just gonna say this is not. It hurts. It hurts. Okay, it's hard. I just want to keep yelling. But in all actuality, right, that was a good capitalization from LGD onto a bit of an overextended Angel in the Shy.
And it was one of the, I'd say, safer plays that Weibo has available with their composition. They still got punished for it right, sending both soul lanes down towards spot, one having the global, looking for the gank with TF. I mean, tried and true. We've seen it a million times before over the years. But LGD not playing towards the opposite side, already had numerous people leaning down.
They almost getting the recalling Sword Art, but won't do it. Now LGD moved into the top side jungle. They're continuing to keep up the 1-3-1, or at least a version of it, as Fearness just wanting to take down the tier 2.
Mazel with this game going by at a rather respectable pace.
Okay.
I feel like people might be out there listening thinking, why am I still here? Why am I still tuned in the LPL? You know why you're still tuned in the LPL? Because one, you want to see if Weibo gets guaranteed for playoffs, but two, you can't miss Mole debuting in 2022 on Invictus Gaming, the next series Mole IG.
What about
facing
Sword Art?
anyone's legend.
Sword Art debuted tonight too in the LPL. What's up with that? Come on, man.
You know, we've had 2 games of Sword Art. There's a game of Sword Art going on right now. But I'm trying to make sure they don't leave. And they shouldn't leave because the best player ever to grace League of Legends, who's going to win Worlds this year, is up next.
Just
and yes,
because
I'm going to be incredibly biased.
Just because you have an obsession with Mole doesn't mean you need to bring that bias in here, all right? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your bias.
I got to say,
what?
I gotta say, when Dagda offered me to cast that series, I said, guys, I don't know. I'm gonna be incredibly biased. I prefaced, I warned them.
Just make sure the chat calls them out, all right? I'll keep you to that chat, as the Shy needs to be kept to the bottom lane. And LGD want to take him out here. Abyssal Dive will not connect, but does the Shy get the outplay? The Devour. So good from Jinjiao. That was so close.
I mean, Shadow even having to commit a flash as well. Just consistently finding these picks and sides. I mean, heck, we knew in terms of the 1v1s, they'd be able to find some semblance of kill pressure, right, in terms of all-ins. But now committing to playing around the Tryndamere, because they know that is going to be the more volatile matchup rather than Ahri versus Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate really shouldn't have any kill pressure on the Ahri. Should work the other way around, but Jay just answering waves, considering Weibo are the team more committed to playing around this top half of the map. This Jinjiao goes in, but finds nothing.
Look at the flank. It's the flank, though, the whole time. You've had Fearness behind. Moonlight Vigil connects as well. The Destiny here for Angel to try and connect something. Yellow card does go through, but they can't get the damage follow-up.
No, Super Mega Death Rocket.
The flash yellow card. They don't have anything to follow it up, though. They have, or do they? What? Jay
you're
just
wrong,
died.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong all day long. Jay just gets caught, and everybody from LGD has to watch their teammate die.
Okay, here we go, Mazel. I'm going to start play-by-playing now, too. They're starting to Baron abilities come out. Auto attacks are everywhere. Look at LGD. They're circling them, Mazel. Weibo are trembling in their boots, but the accelerated shock blast it hits so hard, Mazel. It hits so hard.
But you see, it's all about the analytics. It's the analysis. It's about the movement. The line, Lyric. The line. Is it there for LGD? We'll see. Shadows into the pit, but Angel gets the Baron. Now it's Fearness down already, who had the Undying Rage and couldn't pop it. What a turnaround for Weibo Gaming. Jinjiao is running for the hills, but he's going to be a fried catfish. You have to have no doubts. Everfrost doesn't connect. They're going to be slowly but surely taking him out. He's a big catfish. He takes a while to roast, okay?
Typical Weibo Gaming. Throw game 2 with a 4K gold lead at like 18 minutes. Come into game 3. Start to lose a little bit of control in terms of the early game, I'd say, with LGD finding these picks. Just to bring it right back. They were trying to scare us. That's all they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You can afford that a little bit later in the season, or can you? I am just very surprised that Fearless did not have the ability to pull out the Undying Rage. Also, Shadow smiting just a little bit too early. It's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, right, you had 3 members of Weibo kind of like postured to look for the turn, so even then, it's like you're kind of set up for both, right? The fact that Shadow not able to find the steal, and the other members of Weibo in a position where they can take an advantageous fight with the engager able to get off. We saw the poke from the Shy going down a little bit beforehand as well, and it sets up Weibo now 4K gold lead, dragging up in 2 minutes, so Baron not going to last that long to at least translate into control for Dragon, but we're going to see how many turrets they are able to get off this play. Right now, playing around top and mid, they're going to send Angel to answer that wave first. Does have Destiny just in case any fight breaks out.
And the side lane pushing just hasn't been available for Phoenix because of the pressure that Weibo has been putting on into the jungle of LGD. That red buff also taken away by SOFM just puts a little bit more hurt onto Shadow for sure. He is just hanging out this mid lane, trying to keep a little bit of defense for LGD as, oh my god, no, they want offense, all right? They want the Shy, and they find him, but afterwards, it's disaster because SOFM is on the behind of them. Huanfeng is getting excited in the middle of the fight. Eric has a lot of chakrams, and Eric can put in some damage, but he's got to be real careful to flash. Oh, the Caliber doesn't connect, and he survives for a little bit longer, but Weibo, they definitely have the pressure here with the Baron buff.
I mean, still a 2 for 2, right? When you're the team behind, like LGD, I mean, I think that's the best you can hope for. It is going to translate still into another turret for Weibo. I don't imagine they should be able to get more. Eric now going to be at full HP, but that was extremely close. We saw Fearness putting so much pressure on with the flank coming from behind, kind of forced Huanfeng to go forward and more aggressively look for those kills and resets where Eric was lying in wait. We'll go straight back into the replay. LGD just going on the Shy, straight up bursting him out. The knockup's enough, and Jay able to follow through. Shadow, though, is going to go down pretty soon after. Does get picked by Jinja to buy time, but still, you're surrounded by members from Weibo Gaming. SOFM trying to zone out Eric on the back end of the fight, but like I said, Trinivere kind of forcing Huanfeng to go forward to try and find these resets and these kills. There's just a lead to his doom at the hands of Eric, who once again to get a pretty nice scoreline.
I love it though. Huanfeng was just trying his darndest just to not think about fear. He's like, he's not there, he's not there, he's not hitting me, he's not killing me. I promise, I'm just gonna keep going, we keep running forward, and it still didn't work out for him. Fear is finding so much advantage on this Tryndamere, already so much in this series as well. But now we're right back to it. We're at the Dragon Dance here. 20 seconds until one of these teams can pick up Soul Point for themselves, which again, we've already said, for either of these teams, puts a ton of macro power in their hands.
And I feel like the dynamic of the game is going to start changing, right? Where you see Fearness, Hullbreaker, once a split push, feels comfortable going toe-to-toe against the Shy. The Shy, though, I think is going to do much better if he does stay grouped. We hit on just Jace being strong against champions like the Tom Kench, like the Aphelios, being able to try and zone them out from the objective with the Accelerate Shock Blast, and they absolutely burn this down.
Yep.
LGD don't even get a chance.
Shadow almost gets taken down, has to use the Heartbreaker, and it's Jin Zhao who gets caught. Now the Destiny is there. They can see everybody. They can hear everything, and the Shy is taking them down too. Oh, the Zap doesn't connect. The Moonlight Vigil just to try to separate some space. The kick comes out, and LGD are dusted. They are going to lose this mid-inhib tower as well. Jay almost dies, just a couple of rockets, a little bit of damage, but they are pressing this in. Weibo want out of this series, and quickly, the flash forward, the damage isn't there from Angel. He still wants it, he can't get it, but it's the towers, it's the Nexus, that's what matters. Fearness trying to put on his best defense, but all he is a lonely Tryndamere. He has the Undying Rage, he can't make it out, he goes golden. The towers are gonna start falling, Huanfeng gonna get excited, and Weibo Gaming, they gave us a scare. It might be Halloween for them, but they still come out on top in the end, and they continue to dominate the LPL, our first team to lock in playoffs.
Yep, congratulations to Weibo Gaming. You know, maybe depending on your terms of exciting, not the most exciting series to some, maybe very exciting to others. Point is, though, at the end of the day, they get the win. They're guaranteed for playoffs, so can start making their way to, you know, securing those buys in the later rounds by picking up more and more wins. For LGD stays pretty bleak considering now they are sitting on 3-9. They themselves only have 4 series left to go, so the most they can get up to is 7, which